was a pretty good job. The only problem with that is I was in a cubicle for 8 hours a day, and I went stir crazy.
Well, you're going to do that.
Answering telephones, taking orders.
If you go into IT, you're going to have the same problem. Here's what I think you should do. I think you should learn. I think you should learn how to be a cattle rancher or a sheep herder.
Sweet.
Let's see now. TVI is teacher of the visually impaired. Guy says don't go into IT. It is soul crushing.
Yeah.
Tell her to go back. Tell her to go back to school and get her graduate degree in education, and then look for jobs where you can teach teachers.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
There's a thought. Let's see. Golden West Insurance Services is hiring.
Have you thought about selling drugs at all?
Meth.
What about escorts?
No,
Breaking Bad.
Honestly, I don't even know where to go get drugs. I would start taking them because the job is so stressful.
All right,
But I
Melinda.
don't even know where to go find the people to sell me the drugs.
I'm sorry,
So,
Melinda. I don't think
I
we've
guess
been.
I could ask the students.
I don't think we've been.
I don't know, maybe.
Melinda, I don't think we've been very helpful, but we have to go.
We got to go.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Guys.
See
All
ya.
right. We will continue.
Hello? Yeah, what?
If you insist, after these, 877-602-9696.
My fourth grade teacher named Miss Bona. It was
That was
poor teacher.
Terrible.
Look at traffic. Northbound I-15 at milepost 282. This is down in Lehigh, down in Utah County. There is a crash northbound. 5400 south and 4800 west in Kearns. 123rd southbound I-15. There is an accident there. 12th Street in Ogden. See, the rain's coming and you didn't listen. You're starting to drive too fast for the conditions. There's one in Park City by Park City High School. Orem, just all over. Slow down.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll continue with Hello, Yeah, What after these, 877-602-9696. We know that live music on the beach is a hell of a lot better than suffocating under the inversion.
So we.
Deli. Spell it with me now. D-E-L-I. And now we'll use it in some dialogue with LeVar and his friend Elder LeGrand R. Dunn Jr. It's Sunday, and LeVar has come over to his friend LeGrand's home to see why Elder Dunn is not in church. Again, the word is deli. Let's listen.
Come in.
Oh, there you are, LeGrand. Home all alone in front of the TV on Sunday. I know, I can see the church parking lot from my trailer home, and when I saw your minivan pull up for the meeting, and your wife Midge and all the little Dunn kids pile out without their daddy, I figured something was up. Something is up, isn't it, LeGrand? It ain't like you to miss church. How come you ain't there?
Oh, I ain't feeling well, LeVar. I spent the night horking up my guts. I had stuff running out of both ends, LeVar.
Ooh.
I ain't been up to snuff for the past few months, as a matter of fact. I don't know what is in me, but it ain't fun.
So that's why you ain't in church, huh?
Yeah.
Of course, the fact that your favorite team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is playing them red-hot Arizona Cardinals today don't have nothing to do with it, does it?
No, it don't. I really am sick. I'm just starting to feel a little bit better right now. My stomach is almost settled.
Oh, looky there. Buddy Ryan is yelling at one of his players. Oh, yuck. Here. Aim for the bucket. No, you are a mess, LeGrand. A real mess.
I need for you to do me a favor, LeVar.
What?
I need you to go to the Circle K and get me some 7-Up. And if you would you just make me up some nice warm milk toast? I need to eat, but it has to be something mild, like milk toast.
Who do you think I am, your wife? Hey, why ain't she here?
She had the lesson in Relief Society today. Oh, I'm sick.
Look, you got to start taking your vitamins, LeGrand. You need to take your vitamin C. You need to take your sulfur pills. You need your cat fur oil. You need your seaweed and plenty of that crab shell calcium and ragweed. You need to take all that stuff on a daily basis.
Every day?
Every day.
I need to take that stuff daily?
Yep, a good handful of vitamins on a daily basis.
I know you don't hardly ever get sick, LeVar. You take all them things daily?
Well, that stuff don't work on me like it works on most people. I just try to drink a pint of cheap rum every day. Yep, pint of rot gut hooch deli does the trick for me.
Gina Barberi on Twitter at RFH Gina. Radio from Hell on X96.
All right.
Hello, yeah, what?
Well, yeah. Continue it, I guess. You have a sponsor?
Brought to you by the Try the Buck and Under menu at Del Taco for the most fresh choices for $1 or less, like 69-cent mini quesadillas, 89-cent burritos, and the new $1 salsa chicken taco.
I guess we'll continue it at least for one call because that's all we have.
Hello, yeah, what?
877-602-9696 is the number if you'd like to call and ask us anything, talk about anything, do anything you like. At least I hope Cicely has. Oh,
hello, Cicely.
Hi,
Hello,
Cicely.
yeah, what?
I'm here.
Cicely, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Although I have the feeling that your phone call is going to make me not feel good.
I'm fine.
Okay, what are you going to talk about?
So I wanted to talk about old white men in the office, but from a perspective of a younger brown girl.
That's you?
Brown.
You are a young brown girl working in an office with old, and could I probably add the word creepy white men?
Actually, no.
Ah.
Well,
We'll
no.
get to it. Let's not.
All right. Yeah, come on. Just what is it?
Okay, so I've noticed that once I've worked with quite a few older white men in my time, and I've noticed that once they get comfortable with me, they ask me questions that you can tell have been bothering them for years, and they just never knew. And I always feel like it's very sweet when they feel comfortable enough to ask me questions about like my ethnicity and all that fun stuff.
And you think it's kind of sweet that they do that?
Yeah, because I feel like they're comfortable enough with me that they can ask these questions and not feel like I'm gonna freak out on them.
So give us some examples, Cicely, of the questions they asked.
So one time, somebody asked me, I'm not that dark, but one person, he didn't understand that if you are of African American descent that you could tan.
Yeah.
So he asked me, I mentioned the tan line for some reason, and he was baffled, and he was like, I didn't know brown people could get tan.
Well, now,
and
Cicely,
he was trying so hard not to sound offensive, and I was like, yeah.
Could I say one thing though? I feel a little uncomfortable that you're mentioning your tan line around a creepy old white guy.
Well,
really?
I was talking about my feet, if that makes it any better.
Well, okay. All right.
Well, she have a fetish.
Okay, what's another example?
I have curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm going to go into work and they're going to be like, we heard you.
Mm-hmm.
But I have curly hair, and for the most part, I like to keep it up because it's pretty big.
Yeah.
And I had it down one day, and one guy was just like, hi. He didn't realize that I was the same person asking me all about.
Well, you do all look kind of alike, you know.
Oh yeah, right.
He didn't ask to touch your hair, did he?
No.
Oh, good.
I might have. I don't know. Now you're afraid that maybe the people at work are now going to hear you talking about this. You should have used a different name and been anonymous.
I know. I didn't think about that beforehand, and then.
I hope you don't get into any trouble. Of course, you have a distinctive voice too. I think they would have picked it up. What kind
true.
What kind of work do you do, Cicely?
I sit behind a desk.
Good.
I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, that's
okay.
a good
Usually
idea.
I work outdoors, but now I work behind a desk.
You work outdoors where you get a tan.
Yep.
Well,
and my feet are like a totally different color.
Well, Cicely, let me try to put a positive spin on this if I can.
Can we hire her?
I'd love to. Think of it as you're kind of providing a public service in a way.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Try
in the face of black folk.
Try to think of it that way. Yeah. You're educating people, you know.
And let me defend the other side of that, because if you have lived in Utah the majority of your life, you don't really have the opportunity. This doesn't make excuses for us white folk, but there are questions. I mean, our friend Jay Whitaker, I regret that I asked the questions of him now, but it was things that I felt like I was close enough to him that I could just ask him questions, and I just wanted to know. And he took a little bit of offense out of it, but I genuinely was just like, so I have this question about black people, and I don't have anyone else in my life to be able to ask about it.
I guess, Cicely, you could ask her because she doesn't seem to be offended by it. So maybe.
No, I'm happy. I love answering these questions.
All right. Okay. Maybe we should have a segment with Cicely where she can call in, and then you can call in and ask Cicely questions you want to.
The producer's booth is shooting that idea down.
They're saying no.
They're saying absolutely not. That's a terrible idea, and that we should move along.
All right. Thanks for calling us. It was a charming phone call. Thank you.
Thank you, Cicely.
Okay, bye.
Bye. She sounded very nice.
She is.
Quick look at traffic brings us. There is that crash in Lehigh, northbound I-15, around milepost 282. There is a crash in Ogden, 12th Street at Depot Drive. I want to hit as many of these as I can. Crash northbound Bangor Highway where it goes over I-80. There's a crash there. Southbound I-15 at 800 North down in Orem. And northbound I-215 at 6,000 South. And the reason why all these are happening is because people are driving too fast for the wet road conditions. So stop it. That's traffic.
All right.
Coming up, Boners Round 2. Here are your candidates. Boner candidate number 1, we will not tolerate uppity teachers. Boner candidate number 2, I'm glad the old bat is dead.
Ooh.
And boner candidate number 3, that man has a feast in his pants.
All right, Boners Round 2, big boy news and opinioendo, all coming up. Stand by for that. We're just going to tell you about...
my eye hurts.
What's the matter?
I don't know. I got something in it. But I should run out to Hoops Vision. They could fix it.
Well, they would.
You know, they would. Yeah.
Give you a thorough eye exam.
Yeah, I mean they do. They have great ophthalmologists and optometrists out there. I think they're ophthalmologists, not optometrists.
I just say eye doctor.
There are eye doctors out there. A lot of eye doctors out there at Hoops Vision, and they can correct your eyes, maybe help get rid of your contact lenses or your glasses. If you are a person who goes to the gym, if you work out, if you like to do fitness stuff, get rid of your glasses. Man, it's awful to do it with glasses. So get your eyes corrected with a laser eye procedure at Hoops Vision. They want to help you get the great vision you deserve. Schedule a free LASIK consultation today. Just call 877-30-LASIK. That's 877-305-2745. Ask about their they'll tell you about. They have a See Clearly guarantee, and they also can help you finance your LASIK procedure for 24 months with zero interest. Call today or go to Hoops Vision, HOOPES Vision.com.
X96 is your home for non-stop music. We give you a 1-hour non-stop music wingding 3 times a day.
That's how desperate I am.
At 10 a.m., right after Radio from Hell.
We're desperate.
At 1 p.m. while you're listening in the workplace.
Which is so completely wrong.
And at 4:30 for your drive home.
Just kill me now.
1-hour non-stop music wingdings 3 times a day.
I think I've actually gotten stupid just standing here listening to you describe it.
At 10, 1, and 4:30. Only on X96.
There's savings. And
That a warning by top Arizona utility officials that Arizona is going to cut off power to L.A.
Yeah, this could be a boner.
To Los Angeles if the city proceeds with its boycott of all things Arizona. The mayor on Wednesday defiantly rejected a warning by top Arizona utilities officials that the state could cut off power to Los Angeles should the city proceed with its boycott. Spokesman Dave Beltran told Fox News that the message didn't even warrant a response. We're not going to respond to threats from a state that has isolated itself from America that values freedom, liberty, and basic human rights, Beltran said. That was after Gary Pierce, a commissioner of the 5-member Arizona Corporation Commission, wrote a letter to Villagarosa. I can't say his name. It's Villaragosa.
Just mangle it.
Slamming his city council's decision to boycott the Grand Canyon State in protest of its immigration law by suspending official travel there and ending future contracts with state businesses. Noting that a quarter of Los Angeles' electricity comes from Arizona power plants, Pierce threatened to pull the plug if the city council does not reconsider. Doggone it! If you're going to boycott this candy store, then don't come in for any of it, Pierce told Fox News. Well, I'm sure that they'll do that. I am sure that Arizona, as a matter of fact, if I were California, I'd say, go ahead. Go ahead.
Shut it off.
Go ahead. Put up or shut up.
You already look bad, Arizona. Do that and look worse.
They're not going to do it, is the point.
No.
They would never do it. They can't do it. We're going to cut off your power. Uh-huh. Okay, fine. Do it.
All right.
So
we're putting round 2 of the boner voting on hold for a second.
Just for a moment, because we have sort of a guest that we want to put in here. We have with us here in the studio Nick Rashad Burrows, who is in the show at the Eccles called Something Rotten.
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Nick is well, we were just talking off the air, right out of drama school in Alabama. He goes to audition for a touring company, a touring of Kinky Boots, the touring show. And it's still playing on Broadway.
Yeah.
And it's still on Broadway. How many years has it been there now? It's
on its 5th year now.
So he goes to audition, you know, as a student, young student, not even wet. He's still wet behind the ears, as they used to say. And they said, okay, yeah, you're a great audition. You're hired.
For the Broadway production.
For the
you
Broadway
start
production.
rehearsals next week, so move from Alabama and get your life together here in New York.
In 1 week.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Were there people there to help you do that, though?
Oh, absolutely. I had people that I went to college with who live in
New
York.
you knew, so you had friends
yeah,
there.
so I stayed on a couch really quick.
On the couch. I did that myself. Yeah. And so you understudied the lead, which is a very difficult role.
Yeah, and I got to understudy Billy Porter, Wayne Brady, and Todrick Hall, and Billy, the people that I've been looking up to for years.
Billy Porter was the original guy, and he's back doing it again, I think.
Yeah,
right?
well, he actually just finished his last run of it 2 days ago, like last week.
I didn't know Wayne Brady was.
Wayne Brady did it, and he is the funniest man.
I would have liked to
ever.
have seen that. Okay.
But then he did it well?
Oh, he did great.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then you got to go on stage in the lead role.
Yeah, I got to do it about 35 times, yeah.
And I went to New York as a young student just out of drama school years ago and did crappy little shows in crappy little theaters for a year and then went, that's it. Way to go! But tell us.
But you've also seen him in The Get Down on Netflix. He was. You were Judas, one of my favorite. Parts.
That was so fun.
In Jesus Christ
right
Superstar.
before Kinky Boots.
Now, if you see him in Something Rotten, which is playing at the Eccles this week, he is the first one you see on the stage. He's the minstrel, starts the whole show out.
So what is Something Rotten? I really know nothing about it.
So Something Rotten is just a love letter to musical theater. It really is, and it's also a love letter to Shakespeare themes as well. It's how the very first musical was made, but set in Shakespearean times, and it's a big parody about how the first musical was made. And so the big rival of the show is Shakespeare, but Shakespeare in this production is a leather pants wearing like Mick Jagger rock star that this up and coming writer just wants to write something better than him because everyone's like, oh, Shakespeare's the greatest, he's the greatest, but he's like, I have to provide for my family and I want to beat this guy. And he comes up with the first musical.
And is it sort of rock bass music?
Or it's everything. We have like rock. We have a lot of rock songs. We have a gospel number that I get to wail in, and it's just like a good, like it's truly a love letter to musical theater. And for people that don't like musical theater, there's enough jokes about it that
good. So Carrie hates musical theater.
So the jokes about musical theater, I love it.
Yeah.
You will laugh.
Richie loves musical theater. Saw it last night.
Yeah, I saw it last night. The thing I love about Something Rotten is if you are a musical theater fan or a theater fan, there are little, you know how like they do in your Marvel movies, Carrie, the little like Easter eggs or whatever.
Yeah.
There's little nods to so many shows, probably like 50 plus shows in Something Rotten. A little nod to Phantom of the Opera, to Cats, to Chorus Line, everything in there,
Sounds
and
good.
you can go, oh yeah.
Sounds good.
So Nick Rashad Burroughs, he's playing the minstrel, and he's also in the ensemble of Something Rotten, and it's at the Eccles Theater, downtown Salt Lake, right there on Main Street, between 1st and 2nd South, if you're not familiar. Something Rotten, it's opened last night and plays through when?
Through Sunday.
Through Sunday.
Just through Sunday.
Yeah.
All right.
So tickets are available by going to where? Arttix.org.
Arttix.org.
I want to mention this because I thought this was cool, and last night was the first time that they did it. Just like when you go to a show in New York and you can go out on street side and wait to see the actors come out from the stage door, they're doing that now with the shows that come here to town. And for people that are interested in Hamilton and also Phantom of the Opera tickets, which is the big shows this year, not to say anything about you, Nick, Something Rotten, but you can understand. If you go and register for their email, tickets for those, individual tickets for those are going to start going on sale soon.
Out.
And it'll be gone.
Out.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you, Nick. Your mom must be really proud.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We got to get to some other stuff. Thanks for coming, and now get out.
Absolutely. I'm out, but come see Something Rotten.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks a lot. Let's see. We got round 2 now of your boner voting. 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote who is the worst, who is the most deserving of the award no one wants to win, the Boner of the Day. This is round 2. The Boner of the Day works like this now. We have a winner of round 1 in the 7 o'clock hour, winner of round 2 of these 3 candidates in the 8 o'clock hour. Then those 2 candidates, those 2 winning candidates, go to Boner Fight at 9:20, and that's when we decide who is Boner of the Day. So 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky boner voters will receive
a hearty handshake from Radio from Hell's own Bill Allred, and you know what? He'll make that a right-hand handshake.
Just tell me you won or voted, and I'll shake your hand. Here's boner candidate number 1. We will not tolerate uppity teachers. Deshea Hargrave.
Do we have the video of this, Dylan?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. Oh,
he's working on it.
He's getting it. So go to x96.com/live, and he'll have it.
So this is Deshea Hargrave, who is a Louisiana middle school teacher. She stood up at a school board meeting and asked the superintendent why he was getting a raise, educators and support staff were not getting a raise. And she was thrown out of the room by a marshal, a guy with a gun and handcuffs. She was handcuffed on the floor and put into a patrol car. The arrest on Monday of the teacher, Deshea Hargrave, recorded by local media, You got the video running there?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was widely shared, generating comments online that appeared supportive of Ms. Hargrave, who was listed as an English teacher. She was arrested, they said, for allegedly remaining after having been forbidden. Remaining after having been forbidden. What I think is really weird is, so she says, okay, I'm going. And she starts to slide out of the room. And the cop, who has a gun, like he puts his hand on his gun at one point. Like, I'm not going to, It's pretty, so they handcuffed her and put her in the patrol car. She says, I've been to somebody said, I've been to hundreds of school board meetings, and I saw nothing from her conduct that was different from any of the other meetings that I've been to.
Yep.
She didn't do anything particularly awful. She just asked, why are you getting a raise and we educators are not getting a raise? Boner candidate number 1, we will not tolerate uppity teachers. Boner candidate number 2, I'm glad the old bat is dead. Police say a Massachusetts woman skipped her own mother's funeral.
Oh, I'm glad you found this one.
So that she could go break into the dead woman's home and steal a safe filled with items worth $90,000.
Yes, you heard right. She skipped her mother's funeral so she could go rob her mother's house.
She knew nobody'd be there. The Telegram and Gazette reports, this is Massachusetts, the 30-year-old Elise Davenport was held on $15,000 bail after pleading not guilty to 7 charges. Police say Ms. Davenport and an accomplice went to her mother's home on Friday during the funeral. Police say she did not attend the funeral and was not answering calls from relatives. Police were tipped off about the alleged theft by the boyfriend of Davenport's mother, the dead mother. Davenport and her accomplice were found at a Sturbridge motel on Saturday with the safe, $90,000 or $90,000 worth of stuff in it. Boner candidate number 2, well, I'm just glad the old bat is dead. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3, that man has a feast in his pants.
All right. Boner candidate number 3, after this year, big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by.
Get ready to get hungry. Feldman's Deli, Utah's only authentic Jewish deli, featuring world-class New York corned beef and pastrami, bagels, matzo ball soup, and a variety of specials, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner with live music Friday and Saturday nights. Check out feldmansdeli.com for more information.
So let's say you live in Utah County.
All right.
And let's say you got a mermaid tail for Christmas.
Okay.
Apparently it was a thing.
Well, it's a big thing among
little girls.
To be.
A lot of little girls. Mermaid tails were made a splash as...
Get it? I see what you did.
As Christmas presents this year. But they are banned from public pools in Utah County. I was super bummed, said Colby Bartholomew. She bought her 8-year-old daughter a mermaid tail for a birthday present just before Christmas. We started seeing some girls at the pool swimming around with them. They were swimming, swirling, and twirling about. Even though they are expensive, Bartholomew wanted to get her daughter one because she thought it would improve her kicking motion when they went to the local recreation center pool. Things went well at first. Great experience, she said, a lot of fun. Then they went back after Christmas. Something had changed. Within a few minutes of putting it on, they told us, no, we have a rule. You cannot use the monofin, the mermaid tail, at the pool. An employee at the recreation center did confirm the banning of the fins on the phone, saying it was due to safety reasons. Salt Lake County Parks and Recreation has written, monofin mermaid tails are not permitted in Salt Lake County either for use during splash and swim, open plunge. Our only Coast Guard approved flotation swim devices are allowed.
Well, we better get the Coast Guard on approving these things.
Yes. What are you going to do? Poor kids that get these mermaid tails now, well, they can just flop around on the floor at home. Isn't that a great?
Terrible.
But you know what's going on, though, on the other side of this.
It is
you got to know.
It's probably dangerous.
Well, but I mean, you know that these community pools now are going to have Mermaid Hour, charge twice as much as it costs.
Special. That's what they should do. That's a very good idea, and have special lifeguards there. And you know.
I'm sure it's a liability thing.
Yeah,
because I can't. That's got to be tough to swim.
Yeah,
you know.
Former British intelligence agent who compiled the controversial dossier on Donald Trump said the FBI told him the agency had a source inside Trump's presidential campaign. Pretty interesting, isn't it? According to a transcript of a Senate interview released Tuesday. Fusion GPS founder Glenn Simpson said when Christopher Steele contacted FBI agents about information he had, the controversial Steele report, he had that the Russians were trying to interfere with the 2016 election, they told Mr. Steele, well, we don't really, well, look at your stuff, but we've already got somebody inside the Trump campaign looking at these allegations. So, essentially, what they told me was they had other intelligence about this matter from an internal Trump campaign source, and that my understanding was, they believed Christopher Steele at this point. They also believed Chris's information might be credible because they had other intelligence that indicated the same thing, and one of those pieces of intelligence was a human source inside the Trump organization.
Yep. Steele just confirmed what they were already headed towards.
Or a lot of it, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Russian hookers in the hotel has been
not yet
verified one way or
not
the
yet.
other.
Nothing has been disproven.
No.
From the dossier. Some things have been proven correct.
Yeah.
But the person inside, I wonder if that's that guy Papadopoulos who got drunk.
Don't know.
He got drunk in London and told an Australian ambassador, the Russians stole emails and they're going to give them to us.
Yeah.
And so the Australian
he stole them from Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, said, well, that's a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. I'm going to call the FBI.
Maybe it's that guy. What's his name? Who's trying to defend himself? What's his? I'll find it.
Not Manafort.
No, he's a crazy guy. What we work for?
You got to be more.
He worked.
There's
for
so
Trump.
many.
He worked for Trump, and now he's trying to defend himself.
There are so many that have left and been fired. Carter Page.
Carter Page.
From the Trump organization. He's defending himself. That's right. And then there are so many Russians that are involved in this that you can't keep track of them. And they're like an organized crime and stuff.
No, we Russians are not involved in any way. We disavow. We disavow. We do not let our hookers. We do not let our hookers provide
services.
Yeah. And then quickly. Millie Bobby Brown.
Yes.
I think she's going to be a pretty big star.
I think she is, yes.
She's, of course, 11 from Stranger Things. Legendary Entertainment has made a deal with Emmy-nominated breakout star Millie Bobby Brown to star in and produce. So she's going to be the producer. A feature film series based on Nancy Springer's Enola Holmes mystery novel series. Now, that probably means something to a lot of people. I'm not familiar with them. Brown will produce through her PCMA production banner. She developed a relationship with Legendary as she completed a starring role in the Michael Dougherty-directed Godzilla sequel for Legendary.
Oh.
I didn't know they were doing that.
Yes.
My boy probably knows about that, and he'll be excited.
Ask him about it.
That film series is young Sherlock Holmes, the sister of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, Enola Holmes purports to be the sister of Sherlock Holmes.
There you go.
Yeah. That's, the book series begins with the case of the missing Marquess. 6 novels, and theoretically, they could do 6 films.
All 6.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that's it.
Weather, traffic.
Brought to you by the Sundance Film Festival, returning to Utah January 18th through the 28th with screenings in Park City, Salt Lake City, and the Sundance Mountain Resort. Utah locals get early access to tickets one day only. That's tomorrow, starting at noon. Thursday, January 11th at noon. You can go to sundance.org/festival. You can text the word Sundance to the number 33986 for a chance to win tickets to a 2018 Sundance Film Festival screening and also some merchandise. High today of about 45, and that's what it'll be for the foreseeable future. Less rain as we go about it. And then northbound I-15 in Utah County around Lehigh, it is really bad. They're saying between 30 and 45-minute delays. Just stand still, so be patient with other people. And you know why you're in that situation? You didn't listen to me. Drive for the conditions on the road. That's traffic.
Boner candidate number 3. That man has a feast in his pants. A Florida man with a feast stuffed in his pants, was arrested trying to sneak out of a grocery store. Oh, so what's a feast, you're saying? Well, here we go. Mael Alvarez Aguilar was taken into custody. See, there's a mugshot of him at x96.com/live.
Okay.
I'm stuffed.
Taken into custody on a petty merchant theft charge after walking out of the Rhines Market IGA in Indiantown, Florida. He had a full rack of ribs stuffed in his pants.
Wow.
A further search uncovered 9 pieces of fried chicken, 2 packs of hamburger buns, and some mashed potatoes in his pants.
How did he?
I'm trying to.
I get the ribs.
I don't know.
Because it has some form to it, but mashed potatoes.
I guess.
Well, you can buy mashed potatoes that are already mashed in a
so you'd have to container.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. He didn't just take a couple of handfuls of mashed potatoes. Although that sounds exciting to me.
Ooh, they're so warm.
Boner candidate number 3. That man has a feast in his pants.
All right, let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. We will not tolerate an uppity teacher. Good Lord, this teacher in a school board meeting in Louisiana, she just stands up and she says, I just want to know, why is it you, superintendent so-and-so, why you're getting a raise and teachers are not getting a raise? It's not fair. And they pushed her out of the meeting. They had an armed guard handcuff her, put her in a patrol car. Amazing. Boner candidate number 2 was, I'm glad the old bat is dead. Say, a woman who skipped her mother's funeral because she knew nobody would be at her dead mother's house. And she went to her dead mother's house and broke in and robbed a safe with items of $90,000. And boner candidate number 3, that man has a feast in his pants.
All right. This is round 2 of the boner voting. You've got to decide which of these 3 is the worst of these 3, and therefore deserves to go forward to boner fights to possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, it's got a 50-50 chance. Boner fight happens at 9:20. All right, decide 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that number in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Pew! Easy. You can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice, or go to x96.com. Look for the box that says Round 2, January 10. If you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. Click on that and vote. Here we go. You've got about 3.5 minutes is all to vote for round 2. Let's go.
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of 2 such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders! Once again, we join our missionaries as they orbit a small planet.
Hey, Lehigh, my sensors are picking up a distress signal from a small craft on the surface.
Yeah, I see it. Well, there's nothing else in this sector for parsecs. We better land and see if they need some help.
Well, according to my tricorder, it should be right over there.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Well, that's odd.
What?
Well, it's just not often you find a spaceship made out of cardboard and held together with masking tape, staples, and paper clips.
Well, it's a good thing we came along. I'll bet they need our help. Oh, looky there. It's a guy in a spacesuit. Excuse me, sir.
Halt! Identify yourselves.
Hi, I'm Elder Christiansen, and this is Elder Jensen.
Hi.
Elders, sounds important. I'm Buzz Lightyear.
Well, we represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know, the Mormons.
Mormons?
And we was wondering if we could offer you some assistance.
Yeah, looks like your craft could use some work. Why don't you let me take a look at that, huh?
Get back!
Oh, look out, Budge. He's got a...
looks like a little blinking red light on his wrist.
I have got to get someone at Space Command to look at this thing.
Hey, where are you headed, Buzz?
To infinity and beyond.
Ooh, sounds like fun. That's a nice spacesuit you got there. Hey, what do these buttons do?
Please, don't push the buttons on the suit.
I am Buzz Lightyear. I am Buzz Lightyear. I come in peace. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.
Wow.
I told you not to press the buttons on the suit.
Oh, hey, that's cool. And this one... Wow, wings!
Yeah, I can fly. Will you leave the suit alone?
Well, looks like your ship is all ready to go. All you needed was a little duct tape to hold the vertical stabilizers in place.
I am forever in your debt.
Hey, listen, you want me to take a look at that little blinking red light laser device while we're here?
No, your companion has done enough fiddling with my equipment for one day.
Well, would you be interested in learning more about the teachings of our prophet, Joseph Smith?
Not today. It takes a long time to get to infinity, and then more to go beyond. I'd better get going. Nice meeting you.
Well, bye, Buzz.
Bye. Will Butch and Lehigh ever get anyone to listen to the first discussion? Will Buzz Lightyear make it to infinity, let alone beyond? Will Butch's duct tape repair job hold Buzz's ship together? Tune in next time to hear Lehigh say... Oh, it's a shame we couldn't convince him to convert.
Well, I doubt that action figure toys could count as converts, and I don't think action figures can hold the priesthood. Besides, I'd have to reprogram his voice chip in order to allow him to give the opening prayer.
On the next leg-shaving episode of Space Elders!
First, we got to award round 2 of your boner voting.
And round 2 of the boner voting is brought to you in part by some pita chips.
Oh.
And by coming up at 9 o'clock, we have another keyword to qualify you to see bands like The Killers, Cold War Kids, AWOL Nation, Portugal the Man, St. Vincent. It's all in Gulf Shores, Alabama, so be listening for that keyword right after 9.
So boner candidate number 1, we will not tolerate uppity teachers. The teacher in Louisiana at the school board meeting asking the superintendent during the meeting, why are you all getting a raise and teachers aren't? She was forced out of the room by security.
Handcuffs.
Yeah, put in handcuffs on the floor.
Yep.
By this large cop. She's a little English teacher. And then put in a patrol car. Boner candidate number 2, I'm glad the old bat is dead. So a woman who skipped her mother's funeral because she knew her mother's home would be vacant. And she went there and robbed a safe of $90,000 worth of stuff. And boner candidate number 3, that man has a feast in his pants. A guy in Florida arrested for having a rack of ribs, mashed potatoes, some hamburger buns, and what was it? Some other stuff, I don't remember. All this food stuffed in his pants. Well, it says here no prize. That's not true.
Well, it was handshake.
Someone will get, so if you come up to me and say, I was a random boner voter in round 2, I won the hearty handshake, I'll give you a hearty handshake. Number 3, that man has a feast in his pants. 5 people voted for that.
It's the title. The title is great. That's on title alone, that would be who I would hope would win.
The other 2 are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that one even got 5 votes when going up against the other 2. Number 2, I'm glad the old bat is dead. probably the most deserving of the candidates.
I think so. That's the one I wanted.
However, teachers, there are a lot of them out there.
Yes, that's true.
Teachers, spouses of teachers, former teachers.
Soon to be former teachers.
Yeah. Went for number one with 129 votes. We will not tolerate uppity teachers.
All right, that candidate will go up against the winner of round one in Boner Fight. Boner of the day will be decided then at 9:20. Is Must Go sponsored?
No.
Okay.
Things that must go on the radio.
Oh, these are things that you have been sending to us that are bugging you. You can't stand them. You hate them. They are things that must go from your life. And hopefully, you send them to us as like a last-minute desperation thing. Maybe if Radio from Hell reads my must go on the air, maybe it'll disappear from my life. At least it might give me some satisfaction. So send your must goes to radiofromhell@x96.com. Put must go in the subject line. Kerry, you want to begin today?
Oh, okay. Let's start with, let's see, if you'd like, you may use my name. Well, it's Zane. Let's see, number one, people who do not know the difference between your and your, Y-O-U apostrophe, R-E, meaning specifically. Yeah. I work for a pizza company, and when people call the store and I answer the phone and I ask them if I can put them on hold, instead of saying yes, they'll say, well, what are your specials? Yeah. I really don't like that the Radio from Hell Best Of's not done like this. Here's a Radio from Hell Best Of that aired on 1/2/18. Sure. I heard a Best of Bill and saying, call us at 801-45 or 670-9696.
That's an old one, yeah.
Yes. Let's see. My dog tracking in dirt and tracks on my hardwood floors. She likes to dig, and I just do not know how to train her not to do that. And the backyard's muddy and wet and just so much fun for her. The other thing that must go is my hardwood floors. I'd much rather have carpet. Zane, with the dirt in the carpet, you don't want that. It's easier to clean up off of a hardwood floor. Let's see. The waiting game you have to play between jobs. I'm excited about my new job. I want to start working right now. Finally, people that say, I'm going to make this year my bitch. Yeah. Or, I remember 2017 as though it was last month.
Going to make it my bitch like a boss, man.
So don't say those things. This one from Mateo in Southern California. Things that must go. One, this station not working outside of the Salt Lake market.
Sure.
You know, it'll never work.
No.
We can't be syndicated. No. It just won't work.
No.
Omaha Steaks and the road home would beg to differ. Two, the Thomas Fire, burning within 1,000 feet of my childhood home.
Yeah.
Now, this was sent on January 3rd. Well, Mateo, look out for the flooding now. Number three, me throwing my back out within 3 days of my recent trip to San Francisco. Four, high pressure sitting over Utah for a month straight, causing the nasty Santa Ana winds here in SoCal. And five, me, for whatever reason. I must go. All right.
Okay. All right.
Kirk here says things that must go. Jimmy Fallon. Honestly, that guy isn't really as funny as Jimmy Kimmel, and there can only be one Jimmy in late night. I don't know where that's written, but let's see. The guy who still has that Bush Cheney bumper sticker on his car. Are you just lazy? You don't want to scratch or peel it off? Or do you think that W was the last Republican in office? Or what? Anybody that voted for Trump must go. Well, okay, back up a bit. I can't wish my mom completely gone, but man, she just won't listen. I told her everybody who voted for Trump owes me an apology, and she just won't do it. Can I just wish that the Trumpkins will simply listen to reason? They won't.
No.
You just have to let them go. Let's see. All my coworkers who still believe and tell me that out of the two horrible candidates, that Trump was the best pick instead of Clinton. I don't know how you can read the news and believe that. The reasons they voted for Trump, Clinton were going to take away my guns.
Nope.
You know, like Obama was going to take away your guns, remember?
Well, he did, didn't he?
I thought he did.
I don't have a gun. I thought I didn't have one because he took it.
The number two reason they voted for Trump? Check out the rack on Melania. 3, he's rich. Yeah, but do you know how many times he filed for bankruptcy? The list goes on, but you get the idea. Honestly, I give up arguing with them. To quote Mark Twain, never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Now, he quotes Mark Twain with that saying. I saw a tweet yesterday that said it was George Carlin that said that.
Huh.
So look it up. You can't trust the internet.
No.
Finally, the thing that must go is the song by Gautier, Somebody That I Used to Know. It gets stuck in my head for hours and drives me nuts.
It does.
Thanks for letting me listen. Make mine a double, and Geek Show says, hey. All right.
All right. Richie?
Not having snow. People describing 60-degree weather in November as gorgeous must go.
Yeah.
Pollution caused by driving must go. Greedy developers and poor city planning creating urban sprawl, forcing us all to drive everywhere. I agree that we should have more public transportation options. However, it is ineffective in the type of cities we build. And the term silicone slopes must go. This, Velcro wallets. I work for a financial institution, and the sound of Velcro ripping apart is one of the worst noises to hear at work every day. Okay. Are you 12 years old and incapable of keeping track of your money? No. You are 47, and it's not even a cool superhero Velcro wallet. The only exception to the Velcro rule.
A cool superhero Velcro wallet?
I've been on dates where they pull out a Velcro wallet, and what we do right after is go buy a big kid wallet. They have to go. Velcro is terrible. Number 2, this from Caitlin. Says wrapping paper must go. It's a waste of money. Unless you want to wrap my gifts in actual money, please don't bother. And staying up until 4 a.m. Christmas Eve to wrap gifts with my parents because they procrastinate and ask for help is not how I want to spend my time. And third from Caitlin, sparkling cider must go. It's gross. Drink real alcohol or don't drink anything at all. Stop trying to be something that you're not. And then we'll do this one. What must go is my social anxiety. In general, I don't even talk around new people. It makes me nervous just writing this message. It's made it hard to meet new people. However, when we had a New Year's Eve party at our house and I became increasingly intoxicated, I knew everyone by name. I hugged everybody at least 3 times, and one girl was telling everybody that I was her best friend. Part of me wasn't used to that much attention. The other half just didn't care because I was so extremely drunk. If I could just be that social without having to get drunk, even though it's fun, things would be a lot easier. Oh, and another thing that must go. This is a dumb traffic one. That's it.
All right.
Thank you for letting me listen. It gives me some sanity on my morning drives and while I'm at work. David.
I have one of my own that must go. People who can't seem to get a name right, even when one person is saying it right to them all the time and they repeat it wrong. And here's a perfect example of it. And I know, Carrie, you've heard other examples of this too. Used to happen on Star Trek, The Next Generation, as I recall. But I listened to a podcast the other day where they were talking about Harvey Weinstein. Mm-hmm. His name is Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
The host of the podcast kept saying Harvey Weinstein. And the guy he was interviewing said, well, you know, Mr. Weinstein and Harvey Weinstein. And then the host would say again, oh, Harvey Weinstein, what about Harvey Weinstein's... It's Weinstein, and the damn host should listen to his guest and think, oh, maybe I'm saying it wrong, and fix it.
Nope, that's the host doing a subtle power move trying to get him to change so that he says it his way, because the host cannot be wrong.
Oh, anyway, this one from Catherine. Bad Santas must go. My son is functionally nonverbal. So when he brings you his note, Santa, saying that he wants for Christmas, do not read the part I added that says, I don't speak, out loud. It is in parentheses. He's very sensitive about it. I just wanted you to know so you wouldn't ask him a million questions he can't answer or have you embarrass him by saying he is being shy and needs to speak up. And for heaven's sake and for Christmas's sake, don't say, well, you do talk. You're trying to pull a fast one on Santa, aren't you? When he says, yeah, it's literally one of his only understandable words, you big jerk. And it seems like every year Santa asks my son if he should bring him more. No, one gift is all he needs, and please don't offer to buy a related gift. My son asked for basketball shoes, so you offer to bring him a basketball as well? And please don't offer to bring that Lego set in a different color. Who are you? Lego makes it one way. One! I'm hoping you guys can set these bad Santas straight. Thanks for letting me listen, Catherine. It looks like we're just about out of time. Well, let me do one more short one. My thing that must go is my roommate who exercises in the common room without any lower frontal support on.
Oh,
wow.
I don't want to come down into the common room after a long day at work and be welcomed by your business. Spandex is a friend. Thanks for letting me vent. Please don't use my name.
Wow. Ugh. All right, 8:56. And you got traffic there, Richie?
I do. It's bad in Utah County. Northbound I-15 around Lehigh. They're between 30 to an hour delay. It's just bad. It's bad all over the place coming northbound into Salt Lake. Again, it picks up around 134th South and Bangor Highway as you make your way north. The roads are wet. It is raining. Be patient with people as you sit in traffic because you will be sitting in traffic. That's your traffic report.
All right, Corey's concert and community calendar coming up after this.
Did he get here? He didn't stay in bed?
I didn't see him, no.
He may be still in bed.
I don't know if he has a mattress from Mattress Firm or not.
I don't know. Well, we should find out.
Yes.
Mattress Firm is having their New Year's sleep sale. They have a new mattress line, by the way. That's everything you want in a bed in a box. It's called Tulo, Tulo. And during their New Year's sleep sale, you won't pay a dime for delivery if you get one of those. It's impossible not to start 2018 off perfectly when Beauty Rest Queen mattresses start at just $3.99, or Hampton and Rhodes Queen mattress at just $1.99. And you can get 0% financing for 6 years during Mattress Firm's New Year's sleep sale. Mattress Firm guarantees that if you don't like your mattress, you buy there, whatever brand it is, sleep on it for 120 nights. They'll beat any price, or they'll exchange it, or
If you're not sleeping well, it's not the guilt; it's your old mattress.
Exactly. So Mattress Firm. Oh, and they're giving away Fitbits with
Yes.
a mattress purchase of $7.99 or more. It's Mattress Firm. There are a lot of them around. You can find a store near you by going to mattressfirm.com.
Radio from Hell on X96.
Senior. Spell it with me now. Senior. Senior. And now we'll use it in some dialogue featuring our two Utah friends, Elder LeGrand R. Dunn Jr. and his trailer-dwelling pal, LeVar. Imagine, if you will, LeVar and LeGrand enjoying a lazy Saturday afternoon of TV watching in LeVar's trailer home at the Restful View Mobile Home Park. Again, the word is senior. Yeah, sure is fun sitting around on a lazy day watching reruns ahead of the class with you, LeGrand. Glad you could come over.
Well, I had to get out of the house. I mean, for heck's sakes, Midge had a list of honey-dos for me as long as that hair on her mother's chin. I snuck out before she could put me to work.
You don't mind if I drink me some beer while Head to the Class is on, do you, LeGrand?
I've long ago given up trying to change your sinful ways, LeVar. You know I think that drinking beer is wrong, but I'm not going to say anything more about it.
Hey, what happened to the rest of the beer in this can I was working on? I know I didn't finish it.
I don't know. You must have drunk it. I'll get you another can of beer from the Frigidaire.
Head of the Class. This is a really funny show. Reminds me of our school days, LeGrand.
Oh.
You remember me out in the parking lot and you over to the seminary building? We had some choice times, didn't we?
Sure did. Now, I'm proud to say I got my high school diploma and my seminary diploma. I don't believe you managed either one, did you?
Never mind. Boy, that redhead on Head of the Class sure reminds me of my old high school sweetheart. Hey, you remember Franny Hayes? God, I sure loved her.
I seen your old flame a couple of days ago, by the way. I seen your Franny Hayes at the Quick Stop. What happened between you two?
I dumped her. She got pregnant, so I dumped her. Got pregnant right here in this here trailer. How's she doing? She's probably got like 20 kids and not a pot to piss in, right?
Married a rich guy. She was driving a fancy Lexi or a Affinity or something like that, covered in diamonds. She looked good.
I don't care. I don't care for her no more.
Oh, come on, LeVar. You care. I seen your face fall when I told you. I seen your emotions fly to the surface.
Shut up and pass me another beer. Hey, you know what? This Alpo don't taste half bad when it's fried up like this.
What you got there is Radio from Hell on X96.
Well, you'll have to excuse me because I have to use the bathroom.
I gotta...
Today's word is barium. Spell it with me now, B-A-R-I-U-M, barium. Now we'll use it in some dialogue starring as those two faithful Utah men, LeVar and LeGrand. Join us as a conversation takes place in LeVar's trailer as our two friends eat lunch together. The word again is barium.
Hey, what's that funny smell in the trailer here, LeVar? I just about can't stand it.
What?
I mean, your trailer usually smells pretty bad, but this is about the worst. Pass me the tartar sauce and lemon wedges, please.
Here you go. Well, LeGrand, the smell you smell could be emanating from any one of a number of sources. Could be coming from that garbage pail I keep over there by the fridge.
Ew.
Or from that pile of garbage I keep under the trailer. Or, it could be wafting in from that landfill right next door. Then what you could be smelling is my feet, because I ain't changed these socks for about a fortnight. That's 2 weeks, I've been reading the Reader's Digest condensed Shakespeare.
No, it don't smell like none of those things. It smells kind of like a old lily pond or like a fish market or something. It's a wet kind of dead smell.
Wet and dead? Oh, it must be my goldfish. They both passed away a few days ago. See? They're just floating in the jar over there.
Oh, no. When did the poor little things die?
Well, it's been a while. When I saw them floating in the jar there, I thought they was sleeping. I kept giving them food, and they wasn't eating it, so I figured out that they was dead. Poor little Jaws and poor little Flipper. Ain't never gonna swim again.
Oh, no.
Ain't never gonna respond to my call. Ain't never gonna snuggle up to my finger when I reach in to pet him. Ain't never gonna bring me my slippers again. Guess I'll just flush him down the crapper.
No! No, you can't do that!
Well,
them fish brought you your slippers?
Well, they hadn't mastered it yet, but I was training them. And why can't I drop them in the bowl and pull the lever?
Because it would destroy their immortal souls. Going down the sewer is like being cast into outer darkness. They need to receive a proper funeral so they can be reunited forever in heaven. They was married, wasn't they?
Well, I guess. So now what you're saying is I need to dig a hole and bury them?
Yep. Have a ceremony and bury them.
Well, I tell you, LeGrand, I love these little fishy friends of mine. But I think you're out of your nut. Besides, it's too much trouble to dig a hole and bury them. This watery grave is like being buried at sea. Goodbye, little fishies.
You're a cold man, LeVar. Hey, you gonna eat the rest of your fish sticks?
Was that Pumped Up Kicks?
No, that was
no?
a band called Lovely the Band.
That's one word.
The song is called Broken.
Okay.
They're from New Jersey by way of New York by way of Los Angeles, and they are the latest episode of Meet the Bands at x96.com.
Oh, that's what it was.
Were they nice to chat with?
You can hear the interview for yourself at x96.com.
Didn't go so well, huh?
I don't know that they have done many interviews, so they don't know how to say things that there's some of it that's interesting and some of it where it's like, well, I'll give you a for example.
Okay.
What do you like to do when you're not playing music? Well, I really just love music, so that's all I do all the time. Yeah, but when you're not playing music, what do you like to do? I pretty much just do music.
Well, apparently you couldn't take their answer for what it was and move on. No, you had to try and grill these poor New Jersey people.
Well, that's how Meet the Bands works. Check it out at x96.com.
Which is why you're interviewing bands and I'm not, because I hate interviewing bands. Just for that reason. All right. Let's see. Oh, hi, Corey.
Well, hey, Wednesday.
Sponsored? Yeah.
It is sponsored. It's brought to you by Live Nation and, I love this, Reverend Horton Heat at the Depot, February 2nd.
All right.
21 and over show. They had like the 2 and the 21, so I wasn't.
The Reverend.
The Rev is back with Jimbo on the stand-up bass, and I forget the third guy's name. I might
It
switch
is,
him out once in a while.
It's pretty kick-ass music.
Yeah, I love the Rev.
Corey O'Brien is here. He's here with his concert and community calendar update concert thing. And going to tell us all what's happening this week. And
Nicely done, Bill.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, tonight, in case the weather, isn't cheering you up enough, Black Veil Brides and Asking Alexandria will be at the complex, so that'll cheer you up.
Asking Alexandria.
I don't know, man.
Do you know them at all?
No, not really.
All right.
I mean, it's
do they do
it's like
songs
screamo.
like
it's like
All the
screamo
Little
music.
Kids? Oh, it's not all.
No,
the little
it's like, but
okay,
emotional.
Good. All right, good.
Thursday, the FIS Freestyle World Cup takes place at Deer Valley. That's free to go check out, and snow arrived timely enough. Well, not down here, but up there. So that should be pretty spectacular. I mean, they do the big kickers and stuff like that. Watch them fly through the air. It's pretty cool to see live.
Right.
Friday, Joe McHale in town at Wise
really?
Guys. Yeah,
Okay.
you know him from Parks and Rec, The Soup, and Wise Guys this Friday
Not
night.
Parks and Rec.
No, not Parks and Rec.
Community.
That's it.
He's going to be playing Chevy Chase in an upcoming movie about the early days of the National Lampoon.
I can see that.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
it's
did see a
perfect
trailer for
because he
that.
worked with Chevy Chase on Community
and didn't like
him. So this ought to be fun.
That's going to be
Nobody
on
liked Chevy.
Netflix, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Netflix,
Yeah, nobody liked Chevy Chase on that show.
Yes.
And then X96 night at Brighton once again this week. Friday night, $25 with your X96 Workers Union card. Saturday, this is the big one. Sock Puppet Workshop at the Art Factory, which is kind of South Salt Lake Sugar House. It's $12. You get to go in, make your own sock puppet.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
They make all kinds of puppets there, apparently.
I hope they don't run out of googly eyes.
I don't think they will now that we've mentioned it. They're sending some intern now to go to Michael's and get some extra googly eyes.
You can buy a bushel basket full of googly eyes for like $6 or something. They're
You
just
get them at Costco. I don't
not
want to run
expensive.
out.
Yeah, get your Costco.
Kirkland brand.
Yeah, Kirkland brand googly eyes. All shapes and sizes.
Now, Corey, you're passing by it, but the 2018 Wasatch Improv Festival is this weekend, starting tomorrow through Saturday.
Next.
Now, where's that at?
It's out in Midvale at the Midvale Performing Arts Center.
Yes,
It's-
and?
Yes, and it's improv comedians from all over the country.
Yes, and.
Okay.
I was wondering, is your improv group still together?
Slideshow?
Slideshow.
No.
Okay, good. I heard a best of where we were discussing the slideshow and what a stupid name that was.
Yeah, it was stupid. We did 2 shows, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right. If only Sock Puppet Night was Thursday.
Sock
Now,
Puppet Night.
I
This
wish.
is-
Sock
is it-
Puppet Improv.
What is the Art Factory? Is that place where Sackerson does theaters right there by the Best Buy and the track station 21st
It's right
South?
in like 130 West.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is.
It's weird. You go up 21st South, heading east from 3rd West, and you go across the track station, train tracks, and turn right immediately into their parking lot.
And then you're there to make sock puppets.
Yeah,
if you survive the tracks,
I think it's
you'll
fun.
be good. Monday, your last chance to check out the Utah International Auto Expo at the Southtown Expo Center. Don't go into the wrong spot. I think there's a continual gun show that goes on in one of those halls. It just never ends.
Now, I've been hearing ads for the gun show. Is that gone now?
I think
The
that was
Rocky
last
Mountain
week.
Gun Show.
Yeah, it was last
I think
week.
that was last week, yeah.
So.
Guns last week, cars this week.
And then if Asking Alexandria, sock puppets weren't enough for you this week, and improv.
And car shows.
Tuesday night, Viennese Waltz for beginners at the DF Dance Studio. Now, the reason you need to know this is because, as I'm told here on their website, it's an elegant and fluid dance, a must-know for the Vienna Ball hosted by the Salt Lake Symphony coming up on February 11th. So if you're going to attend that, anyone in this room?
I don't think I will.
Okay, well.
But I'm all for it.
If you're listening and you are, you need to know the Viennese Waltz, and they can do it at the DF Dance Studio on Tuesday nights. You don't need a partner. You can just show up by yourself, and they'll teach you anyway.
Was that a Billy Idol song, Waltzing with Myself?
Waltzing with Myself, yeah.
And I'm waltzing.
And that's another week.
All right.
there.
That's Corey O'Brien. Thank you very much. You can hear Corey O'Brien on the radio here at X96 from 7 to whenever he feels like going home.
Yep, when I run out of Foster the People songs.
And then all that information's on x96.com, right?
It is, yeah.
And you can text to get it too, right?
Yeah, text events to 33986, and we'll send it to you every Wednesday at noon on your phone.
We'll be back with Boner Fights, Boner of the Day, and before that, A substantial amount of news, I'd
All
say.
right.
All right, stand by. Ranlife.com is the website.
Yes, Ran Life, our good friends, the local mortgage folks.
Here's what Kerry Jackson is doing when he's not on the air.
Well, Kelly, our session is nearly over. So let's get right down to it. What would you say is your biggest problem?
Oh, I'm just a little depressed. I don't know why.
Well, perhaps it's something holding over from your childhood. Tell me about something of your memories from your youth.
Well, one of the distinct memories I have is when my two older brothers were playing basketball in our room, and Peter went up for a layup into the garbage can. Greg didn't block it, and the ball bounced down into the living room and broke Mom's favorite vase. You know, I told him over and over, Mom always says, don't play ball in the house.
Carrie, Carrie,
Yeah?
that was an episode of the Brady Bunch.
Oh. Okay. I do distinctly remember when we almost had to get rid of my dog Tiger because we thought that my sister was allergic to him, but it turned out just to be Tiger's dog
Carrie,
shampoo, and so...
that was also an episode of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. I do remember when some bullies at school were picking on my little sister because she had a lisp.
Brady Bunch, Carrie, Brady Bunch.
God, Doctor, you've been right all this time. I have been living in a fantasy world. God, this is so embarrassing.
Is there some sort of traumatic event that happened to cause this?
I never got over the fact that our maid Alice was married to that butcher Sam. God, I wanted her for my own.
Excuse me for just a moment, please. Mrs. Greenlee, could you please send in Mr. Chunga to collect his friend? Carrie's session is now over.
Here's what Bill Allreddy's doing when he's not on the air.
God, Kerry, you must have had a rough session in there.
Yeah. It's good to get out into the air and walk around, though. Gee, just when I think I have it rough, look at that poor bum in that dumpster across the street.
Yeah, I see that guy over there all the time. I think he sleeps in the dumpster. He looks kind of familiar, but I just can't place him.
Oh, boy, looks like Kerry and Chunga across the street. Thank God they didn't spot me. Oh, man, there was some really cool stuff in here today. Wow, a tuna can. Oh, cool. I think there's some tuna in it.
Hell is on X96. Oh, and on Twitter. Follow us at Radio from Hell.
All right, we got Boner Fight coming up in a moment, but first, a decent amount of news.
A decent amount of news brought to you by Our Mistake. Sorry, everyone listening.
What?
We needed to give you a keyword to try and qualify for the Gulf Shores, Alabama show. Bands like The Killers, Cold War Kids, AWOL Nation, Portugal the Man, St. Vincent, Foster the People, and Bleachers. You can listen later today at 2 p.m. and at 5 p.m. 2 p.m. with John Smith and 5 p.m. with Todd Newcomb to win a pair of concert tickets to a show here in Salt Lake and get qualified for this trip. The keyword, this whole thing, by the way, powered by Lyft Credit. The keyword is nothing, NOTHING. Text that to the number 33986. The keyword is nothing, and the 96th texter will get a pair of tickets and get qualified.
All right, all of the news here is celebrity-based. There's a bunch of celebrity stories that I have neglected to mention today.
Okay.
I don't know why. We've got in time troubles and things like that. We spent a lot of time discussing hepatitis A.
Yes.
At the so if you ate down at the Spanish Fork, if you ate down to their Sonic Drive-In down there on Main Street in Spanish, or you ate down at the Olive Garden down there in Spanish, call the health department. You may be contaminated with hepatitis A, and you should get a hold of them. And if you do, tell them X96 sent you. So we talked a lot about that, and we talked a lot about Trump, and we talked a lot about dismembering people.
Yes.
So I didn't have a chance to get to some of these stories, like Stan Lee.
No, you don't like this story? What is? I don't know.
He's been accused of sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Accused of groping and harassing the nurses who take care of him at his home in Los Angeles. According to the Daily Mail, the British press. Yeah, thanks, Stan. The nursing company is currently in a legal dispute with the 95-year-old Marvel creator after nurses claimed he asked for oral sex in the shower and to be pleasured in his bedroom.
Well,
Excelsior. He doesn't seem to care what people think of him. He has lost his filter, a source told the tabloid. There have been a stream of young nurses coming to his house in West Hollywood, and he has been sexually harassing them. He thinks it's funny. The source added he's also very handsy and has groped some of the women. It's unacceptable behavior, especially from an icon. Now, I wonder if Gina were here, as she did with the elder George H.W. Bush. Oh, come on. He's just an old guy. It's just... Now, it is true that he's probably... I mean, if these allegations are true, and they may be, he has, in fact, kind of, because of age, gotten lost of his filter. It's kind of clicked out, and so somebody has to make him aware of this and take. But what? Okay.
Well, I was going to take the Gina standpoint for a second.
There's no excuse for it.
There isn't.
There is no excuse for it. Even I mean, if he has complete dementia and has no idea what he's doing, that's possible.
Because there is that,
and then you have to figure out a way to take care of him. But it doesn't sound like it's that.
Let me show you why they call me Mr. Fantastic.
Excelsior. There you go. So there's that. And then there's James Franco.
Yeah.
James, it's getting kind of tiresome, all of this stuff.
Now, the James Franco one I kind of believe because he was hitting on a teenager on Instagram or Twitter or something.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember a few years ago.
I'd forgotten, but now you remind me. The New York Times has canceled an event they were going to do with James Franco because of allegations that he has sexually harassed a young woman. The New York Times canceled a panel discussion featuring Franco and his brother after women, including actress Violet Paley, not familiar with her, why don't you look her up?
Looking her up?
Tweeted accusations of inappropriate behavior following the Golden Globes on Sunday. Franco and his brother Dave were scheduled to appear as guests on a Times Talk event Wednesday night. They were going to be interviewed by Times culture reporter Sopan Deb. According to Times Talk website, the discussion was slated to focus on their Golden Globe-nominated film, The Disaster Artist. I think Franco won a Golden
He did.
Globe for acting for that. After Franco won the Golden Globe, for Best Actor in a motion picture, Violet Paley tweeted about his alleged history of sexually inappropriate behavior. Many others called out the actor for wearing a Time's Up pin in support of women speaking out about sexual harassment when the actor was accused of trying to get a 17-year-old to visit his hotel room in 2014.
Yeah.
I think that was the Instagram.
That's
thing.
when it was, yeah.
Violet Paley has played in such things as Chipped, a short, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, a TV series where she played the second catering chick, and Nicole in Pink Zone.
Okay.
Yep. So she's
trying.
Yeah.
She's trying. Let's see. So that's James Franco. Oh, there's a picture of Violet. Oh, I have actually seen her. All right.
She's also in a film called The Untitled Kansas Bowling Film.
Michael Douglas
I didn't read this one. I just read the headline.
is denying allegations that he once pleasured himself in front of a female employee and then blackballed her from Hollywood. The Fatal Attraction actor
You know, he was in Ant-Man, okay? He was just in Ant-Man.
told Deadline Hollywood that he's been told that the Hollywood Reporter is set. So the Hollywood Reporter or someone from there with inside knowledge contacted Michael Douglas and said, "We're going to publish a story chronicling alleged misdeeds that happened 32 years ago. I don't know where to begin. This is a complete lie," he said. "A fabrication. There is no truth to it whatsoever." Douglas, who was 73, said that he had been approached before Christmas asking for comment on the women's accusations, and at some point after Christmas, Douglas said that the story with the Hollywood Reporter said, "Well, they're going to run the story." Now, it has not been posted yet. I don't know if it will be, but he said if it is posted, it's a total lie. Never, ever happened.
He does admit to using colorful language.
Well, and he's admitted to having a pretty promiscuous sex life for a long time.
A Randy Pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he thinks. Now, here's another celebrity story. I guess he's a celebrity of a sort. John Dickerson. Anybody?
Mm-mm. Googling.
I know who John Dickerson is very well.
Okay.
He is a journalist.
Oh, yeah.
He's the host of Face the Nation.
All right.
Co-host of CBS This Morning.
He's just been named to replace Charlie Rose.
Oh.
Now, I know him very well because I listen to a podcast faithfully every week that he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's Slate's Political Gabfest. And he does this with two other people. And he also does a podcast on Slate called Whistle Stop, in which he just does stories, historical stories about past presidents. And it's interesting. And the Political Gabfest, I was turned on to by Stephen Colbert, who said he never misses it, and he's listened to it for a long time. He's been a guest on it. He's had them as guests on his show. David Plotz and Emily Bazelon are the other two people on the podcast. John Dickerson is really good on that podcast. I think he's real. I've watched Face the Nation a few times. He's very good as an interviewer. He'll be great as a co-host on the morning show there, on the CBS morning show, replacing Charlie Rose. But as I read this story about him, it's a very detailed story because it's in the New York Times. Talks about his past, talks about his mother, who was a journalist, Nancy Dickerson.
Mm-hmm.
And a very detailed story about him. Does not once mention that he does a podcast. That pisses me off.
That's because they don't know what time it's on, Bill.
That's a really good podcast.
That's where you were going with this?
Yeah. No, because I did also want you to know about John Dickerson because I like him.
Okay.
And I think if we don't watch those morning news shows because we're here. But you could watch Face the Nation on the weekend occasionally.
No.
You could.
I could.
You could listen to the Political Gabfest that he does, which is very good. Yes, Dylan.
Okay. The next time you're interviewed for something and you don't mention that you do a podcast, I'm coming after you, sir.
There you go.
It's not my job to mention it. It is the reporter's job to dig this information up and to know it.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Not even a little bit.
It's not his. It's not his. It's not my job to.
Yes, it is.
No. Well, a little bit it is.
It's mostly yours.
So here, this is according to CBS News. It's second paragraph in.
They put it in theirs?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
All right. Well,
Good.
there
New
we
York
go.
Times, you suck.
It's a leading political podcast.
It's really good if you want to have politics of the. Sorry, if you want to have politics of the day explained, they do it once a week and talk about the big
a
stories.
weekly political podcast.
Slate's political.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
By the way, I do a podcast. You know, it's called the Let's Go Eat Show.
Not familiar with it.
The Let'sGoEatShow.com.
What time is it on?
Yeah.
So, boner candidate number 1 from round 1, going up against the candidate from round 2. Number 1, we are so proud of our brave pastor. That's a pastor at a mega church in Memphis who got up and said, yes, I did sexually molest a woman 20 years ago or so. Yes, I did it. And what he did was pretty awful. She's come forward, and I did it, and I'm sorry. And instead of firing him, they gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Because he's so brave.
Head scratcher.
He's so brave, Kerry.
Is that it?
Coming
So
forward.
brave. So brave.
And boner candidate number 2 from round 2. Oh, I put the wrong one there. I'll have to go right here to get it for you. Round 2 was the teacher. We will not tolerate uppity teachers is the winner. That's the teacher who was arrested at a school board meeting in Louisiana after questioning why the superintendent was getting a raise and the teachers weren't getting a raise. Right?
Yeah, the teacher's not the boner. It's the people who slapped her in handcuffs.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to indicate that.
Okay, it's time to decide who is boner of the day. Let's do it right now. 1 or 2, the candidate number. Remember, that's the one you think should win. Put that number in the message of a text. Text that to 33986. You can call 877-602-9696. Nick will take your vote in the producer's booth. Or you can go to x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Fight January 10. If you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. And you've only got 3.5 minutes to do it. Let's go. It's Boner Fight for Boner of the Day.
John Smith kicks off a 1-hour non-stop music wingding at the conclusion of Radio from Hell on X96.
Condom. Spell it with me now. C-O-N-D-O-M. And now let's use it in some dialogue featuring those two Utah guys, LeVar and LeGrand. We join LeVar and LeGrand as they split a hot fudge sundae and have some post-em down to the Snellgroves. Remember, the word of the day is condom.
Oh, ma'am, this is really some good hot fudge. Nobody does fudge like Snellgroves, don't you think, LeVar?
Yeah, I suppose.
Oh, and they make a mean cup of post-em, don't they?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, of course, Leatherby's is pretty good, too, like you. Well, you like the Leatherby's, don't you?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, for heck's sakes, LeVar, what is your problem? You are as closed-mouthed as a clam today.
Oh, it's nothing against you, LeGrand. I'm just worried about my nephew Varnell. I'm afraid he's gonna have to get married, and he's just too young.
Why, what did he do? Did he get that little girl he was going with pregnant?
Well, she's knocked up all right, but it ain't Varnell's fault. He don't have no experience with women. He didn't know what he was doing. He's a good boy. Varnell is just a little bit knave in the ways of love and sex. He got her in the family way all right, but he was fooled by that little tramp Chanel. She conned him into it. He didn't want to have sex with her, but she conned him into it with those feminine spells and such. She conned him, LeGrand.
Now, settle down, LeVar. I believe you. Same thing happened to me when I married Vernille. She used some kind of evil spell to get me to have sex with her, too. Well, not before we was married, of course. But she uses them spells on me now. For heck's sakes, I don't want to have sex with the woman, but somehow she gets me to rise to the deed.
Well, that's what happened with Varnell. I mean, that temptress conned him into the sex deed. I told him this would have been avoided if he'd just wore one of them little rubber things on the end of his tallywhacker. What do you call them things?
I just call them rubbers.
Well, if he'd have had on a rubber, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant, even if he weakened when she conned him into sex. Now, he's not going to be able to open that lawnmower and knife sharpening business he's dreamed of. His life is just over.
So now have some more. Post 'em, LeVar.
At 9:35, let's award Boner of the Day.
All right, and Boner of the Day is brought to you in part by a steak and broccoli with some diced up carrots and onion stir fry.
Okay.
And?
That's it.
Oh. So we had Boner candidate number 1. We are so proud of our brave pastor who could get up and confess to very kind of violently hard, he was sexually molested a young woman some 20 years ago. He apologized to the congregation, and rather than saying, well, thank you for the apology to the young woman, I hope you continue to work on your sins, but get out, they stood up and gave him a standing ovation. Yep. And then Boner candidate number 2 was, we will not stand for uppity teachers. There's a teacher in Louisiana. She was at a school board meeting. She questioned why the superintendent was going to get a raise and the teachers weren't. And the superintendent and the school board members had her arrested, handcuffed, put in a patrol car, and arrested. Surprised they didn't take her to the gulag. So, the winner, handily, really, almost double the votes. Number 2, we will not put up with uppity teachers.
There you go. That is now candidate for Boner of the Week, now that it is Boner of the Day. Boner of the Week happens about this time on Friday.
So,
hi, Nick.
Hey, guys.
This is our, hi, Nick!
Hey, how are you doing,
Can
Bill?
you hear okay?
I can hear okay. I can do okay, yeah.
So, our intern, Nick's your buddy, Nick's your pal, has been gone for a while. And,
yeah, I'm sure all the listeners noticed that I've been gone. For
nobody really noticed.
Oh,
people who Boner vote no.
Oh,
they
no.
call and whenever I take the votes and it's not Nick, they go, "Hey, Nick," and I go, "No, Richie," and they go, "Oh."
See, that's funny because it used to be the opposite.
Yeah, but now they like you.
Yeah, there you go.
So I know you had a little medical condition, and what I was led to believe by our producer Richie, who's always so good at explaining things.
Yeah. What did he say?
He said Nick got out of the shower and his ear exploded, and he can't hear anymore. Isn't that essentially what you said?
So what I understood from the phone conversation with Nick was he said, I had this this like ear infection thing I couldn't hear in my ear. I got into the shower thinking that would clear it up. I got super dizzy, and the bones in my head exploded.
Okay, that's what I remember.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
that's what I remember you saying. No.
Yeah.
So that shower part's right. I woke up. I had a ringing in my ear, almost like there was water in it, and I couldn't get it out at all.
Okay.
So I figured a shower might help. You know. Be able to
a shower
steam it
will
up.
help you if you have water in your ear.
I couldn't think of anything. I
Right.
couldn't pop it. I figured, this
You
might
tried
help it.
and doing all, moving your
exactly.
jaw and holding your nose and blowing. And,
Yeah, that didn't help at all. It went from a mild ring to a very, very heavy ringing in my
It's
right
called
ear.
tinnitus, Nick.
Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
tinnitus.
And now you know what the world sounds like to William Shatner, because he has tinnitus as
Oh,
well.
does he?
Tinnitus,
Aw.
excuse me, not tinnitus.
Pete Townsend from The Who.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, but
Tinnitus.
he was hitting his face with amps his whole life. But yeah, so I get out of the shower, I walk over to the bed, and suddenly I feel like I am the most drunk I've ever been in my whole life, but without the fun of being buzzed. Like the room is spinning.
So you just by yourself?
No, my girlfriend came over for breakfast that morning, and she works with optometrists, and so she's like, a little learning moment for me. She goes, "You are having nystagmus right now," where my eyes are twitching back and forth.
You didn't really realize, but your eyes were going. But she saw your eyes.
Yeah. Because to me, the room was just spinning. I was the most dizzy I had ever been.
Wow.
And she's like, "This is more than a stomach flu or whatever." Because I was puking my guts out. I was pale. They took me to the emergency room. I was there for about 9 hours that day, in and out of consciousness. And
because the bones in his ear exploded.
they explode. No, they didn't explode. The initial diagnosis was there's a little I want to say goo that touches crystals in your ear, and that's what tells you what's up, what's down, has your whole equilibrium.
Yeah, balance.
Your balance. Yeah. So
Gina
they said
had something go wrong with hers.
She hit her head on the ice
Yeah.
when she was ice skating.
And she had it knocked things loose.
Yeah.
So they say that was all knocked loose, basically, somehow, some way.
Rough sex.
That's gotta be it.
Yeah.
I forget my mom listens to this sometimes. So I was dizzy for several days. I wasn't even able to get out of bed. Any sort of movement at all just made me puke my guts out.
Well, what did they put you on one of those tables? Because they
What
put
ta-
they
No,
put
obviously
Gina on
not.
they put Gina on a
What are
table.
they called?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
what
know.
was that special
and,
table?
And then they'd strap her onto it and then like turn her upside down. And
I wish it was that.
they didn't do anything.
They didn't do anything. They just said
It'll get better.
Yeah, they just said go see a specialist later in the week, and maybe he can. He said he was going to rotate my head around, not put me on a table and rotate me. But
What kind of a specialist is that?
I know.
A head rotating specialist.
But even the doctor said, yeah, you seem to have fully healed, obviously, by now. He did a balance test where you close your eyes, stand up, and they push you around. Basically, the doctor just bullies you for a few minutes.
But no idea why this happened.
He said it might have been a mini stroke. A blood clot got in your right ear.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, and that caused the whole thing. So if I start going all Lucille 2 from Arrested Development on you guys, just know that.
What do we do?
Yeah.
Call an ambulance.
Who do we call? Or do we
I'll
strap you down to a table?
Yeah, we got to keep him from biting his tongue. We got to get
just say I look cool and I'm super drunk at work. That's badass, right?
His ears have exploded.
We have to keep him from swallowing his tongue. Get a tongue depressor.
Our friend Dale Bohm says that his wife had this, and the table was the tilt table.
That's what it's called, a tilt table.
Because they tilt you.
I could have guessed that.
Tilt table.
I wonder why they.
The takeaway from me is I remembered from elementary school that in your ear, the three bones in your ear are the hammer, the anvil,
and the
stirrup.
Stirrup, yeah. And there are little hairs in your ear, and I think that it's like you said. There's goo.
Yeah, there's something
like little crystal things that.
As it was explained to me, as your head rotates, the goo hits those hairs or crystals or
Keeps
whatever,
your
and that's
balance.
what tells you is up and down.
Yeah.
So I'm alive. I'm good. Thanks for.
All right. Well, good. I'm glad you're fine.
My right ear still works to take boner votes. So
okay,
there you go.
good. Your other ear doesn't work.
It works too, but I don't like to use it.
It betrayed him.
All right. Yeah.
It is dead to me.
Still think it was probably rough sex.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
His mother listens to this.
Keep an eye on him.
His mother is an old enough woman to hear that.
Keep an
Careful.
eye on him. Watch him closely.
Yeah.
Don't need him freaking out.
He starts to totter around.
That's right.
Get a tongue depressor and make him bite down on it.
I'm treating you like The Walking Dead. The second you start to turn. Yeah.
Get a bullet. Make him bite a bullet.
Let's see. We will take a break. We'll be back. Stand by for that. New Dwello Homes Lolly can help you out, can help you get a down payment.
Sure. Down payment assistance for a new home.
Yes.
So what you have to do if you're going to buy a home, if it's a home worth less than or up to $437,000, apparently that's a sort of a cap. They figure if you're qualified to buy a home more expensive than that, you don't need assistance.
You don't need no help. Yeah.
For a down payment. So it's called New Dwello's Gift of Equity Program. You come up with 1% of the down, and New Dwello will gift you up to $8,740 for the down payment. So how do you find out if you're qualified? How do you find out about these?
Easy.
Yeah. You just text the word money to 62687, and they'll send you information about New Dwello's Gift of Equity Program. Money, text that word to 62687. There's no obligation. So this is not going to. They're not going to say, okay, that'll be $50. It's no obligation, and they'll send you a little questionnaire to find out if you're qualified. So text the word money to 62687.
The Sundance Film Festival is returning to Utah January 18th through the 28th with screenings in Park City, Salt Lake City, and the Sundance Mountain Resort.
Well, I have a story for Gina to begin the news.
I'm ready.
Well, and I know this is a story that Gina will really like and be interested in because she sent it to me. A man who murdered his niece, a niece who was also his lover, by smashing her. What does that mean?
It's a detail.
Yes, it is.
There's more.
But wait, there's more.
And it gets even better, doesn't it, Gina?
Yeah.
He killed her by smashing her over the head with a TV. He's been put in jail.
It's Uncle Lover.
Christopher Wall is his name. Was convicted of battering Haley Wall, who was his niece as well as his lover. He was been ordered to serve a minimum of 14 years behind bars.
Only 14 years?
A minimum.
You kill your niece who you're having an affair with a TV, and that's not automatic forever?
Well, Gina, I don't know where this is exactly. I didn't. You should know. What town is this
I believe
in?
it's in the UK.
Well, then, you know how liberal they are in the UK. Christopher Wall, it says here he's facing a lifetime behind bars. So it's a minimum of 14. It's 14 to life, I would guess. My guess is they won't let him out for a long, long time. She was found with a bloody head outside a supermarket in Bournemouth after being battered by Mr. Wall. Before she slipped out of consciousness, she was able to tell emergency crews her name and address and that her partner had beaten her. When police visited the home, they found signs of a disturbance on the second floor, including a door on the landing that was knocked off its frame and two long dark hairs embedded in a crack hallway up the door with a number of blood spots. Embedded in a crack halfway up the door, I should say. Officers also found a large flat screen TV at the bottom of the stairs, and there was blood all over the flat screen TV, and he finally said, yeah, I beat her with the... We were watching the Great British Bake Off, and she pissed me off. So, yeah, there you go. Murdered his niece, who was also his lover.
Niece lover.
X96.
All right, 9:49.
You know, Willie Nelson is on my
on your Deadpool, yeah.
He's
How dare you?
He's 84.
An American treasure.
Willie Nelson quickly pulled out of a concert in San Diego Saturday evening after singing one song, prompting concerns for his health. When he took the stage at Harrah's Resort, SoCal, he commenced by singing Whiskey River, then started coughing and could not stop coughing and could not catch his breath.
The weed.
He left the stage and did not return.
I don't know. Smells like Lemmy.
Ticketmaster told fans they would refund their tickets. His son, Lucas Autry Nelson, named after Gene Autry.
Yes.
Took to Twitter Tuesday to confirm the news that his father would be out of commission and is canceling his concerts for the time being.
Oh.
Apologies all, Dad has the flu, so we canceled this week's gigs in California and Vegas.
I don't like this.
No. I'm sorry. I apologize to Willie and his family. What's the song he did on his last album, but I woke up this morning and I'm not dead, or something like that?
I don't know.
It's on his latest album. It's really funny and kind of telling as well.
Song is called "Still Not Dead."
Still Not Dead. And it was on his newest album. He says Nelson has been hampered health-wise on a few occasions. Last year, he had to cancel a show in Salt Lake City, citing respiratory illness linked to high altitude. He missed some shows in 2017 because of illness. Now, does not look good.
Lyrics to the Willie Nelson song, "I woke up still not dead again today. The internet said I had passed away. If I died, I wasn't dead to stay."
It's a nice little song too. I've heard it a few times. So my apologies. I'm sorry. I don't think I had anything to do with it.
He was in a movie, playing himself essentially.
Honeysuckle Rose?
Called Honeysuckle Rose. The story part is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Although you get to see Diane Cannon in tight jeans. But
who's Diane?
Was that her?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was. Was that exciting for you when you were like 12?
Yes, when I was 12. It's like, wow, she's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Well, she was.
But
you know what she's not anymore?
No.
Hot.
But what's great about that movie is that it's 50% of it is just Willie performing.
Mm-hmm.
And the soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
it's some of the best. If you're buying, some Willie Nelson, I would suggest that
to commemorate the life of
If you want to celebrate Willie Nelson, I would
his
suggest
memorial, it would be good.
I would suggest that. Yeah. And then there's also another album. I think it's just all ballads. And I love it when Willie does a ballad.
Yeah. He's got that pure country tenor.
Yep, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Diane Cannon, an avid Los Angeles Lakers fan.
Oh, good.
The former wife of Cary Grant.
That's true. Was that her in Honeysuckle Rose?
Yes.
Or am I thinking
No, it was. It was Diane Cannon.
Her and someone else was in that. It was like two women vying for Willie's affections, as I recall.
She's still around, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, 81.
Not
dead.
Looking 81.
Looking
every year of 81.
Amy Irving, would that be?
Amy Irving is the other one.
Yeah.
They were vying for Willie's affections. That was believable.
Amy Irving, who was married to Steven Spielberg.
Yes. The voice of E.T., she is.
And 20 years younger than Diane Cannon.
Well, yeah, that was the whole plot of the movie.
And Diane Cannon was like 50 years younger than Cary Grant when she married him.
Right. I'm betting Willie may have had a hand in the storyline of Honeysuckle Rose.
Might have. I know what we'll do. I always thought Diane Cannon's pretty hot, but look at this young Amy Irving over here.
Yeah.
We'll do a movie.
All right. Let's see. Do we have
the promo?
We got everything else taken care of that we need to take care of today?
A reminder about...
Have we sufficiently disturbed the valley?
Reminder to continue to make your films. If you want to win $1,000 in the Radio from Hell Film Festival, they're due on the 12th of February. You can submit them at x96.com. They have to be 5 minutes or less. They have to have the phrase "in your area," and they have to have an American flag somewhere in the film. You could win.
Corey is so mean, but I have to say it. We have to do a song parody. It's not Whiskey River Take My Mind. It's Reefer River Took My Lungs. It'll be.
Yeah. Listen, I hope Willie has gotten off the hop and just doing edibles.
I would hope
because it's not like tobacco, but it's still not good for your lungs to be smoking.
Any sort of smoke in your lungs is bad.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay. Well, yeah, there are some wells, but
yeah. Let's see. Okay, there's the promo. You ready?
Yes. On Thursday's Radio from Hell show.
At 6:45, it's Geek News on the radio.
And then at 7 a.m., it's Beat Bill? Okay. Disease trivia, and you could win tickets for the new politics show.
At 7:45, Sean Means will be here reviewing movies, including The Post.
And then at 9, we'll give you another keyword to qualify for the trip to Gulf Shores, Alabama, if we remember to do it.
That's all on Thursday's Radio from Hell show on X96.
We always do it. But
yeah, eventually we get around to it.
Sometimes it's late.
We are sometimes late.
I'm sorry. We're not a professional show.
Not really.
We're like the spouse of morning radio. We get around to what we're supposed to do eventually after you nag us long enough.
Ooh.
Wow.
Boy.
Don't you find yourself doing that?
No.
You in therapy?
I hope you're not going into a relationship with that kind of attitude.
You're in therapy, right?
No, yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Because
man.
No, but don't you find yourself putting off the things that you know you're supposed to be doing?
You
for a
mean
little
my
while?
honeydews?
Yeah.
You should really save that for your therapist.
I think so.
Okay.
Just saying.
Dylan agrees with me.
Just saying. Yeah.
All right. That's good enough, I suppose. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Gina?
John Smith is next.
A 1-hour nonstop music wingding starts now. Utah's original alternative, X96.